The first thing everyone noticed about the house was that it didn't echo. Sound went in, but it never came back out. When Ion first stepped through the front door, he clapped his hands out of habit, a childish reflex from years of entering empty places. The sound was swallowed instantly, as if the air itself had teeth. He paused. The house stood on the outskirts of a dying town, its paint peeled to the color of old bone, its windows dark even in full daylight. No birds perched on its roof. No insects buzzed near its porch light. The silence around it felt manufactured, pressed into place deliberately. Ion had told himself it was just another abandoned property to document. He was a freelance videographer chasing urban legends for clicks, nothing more. People online loved haunted houses, cursed places, stories that ended in screams and static. But standing there now, with the door creaking shut behind him on its own, he felt something crawl up his spine. The air inside was warm, too warm. Not stale, alive. The hallway stretched longer than the house should allow. The walls were covered in faded wallpaper patterned with flowers that seemed slightly misaligned, not crooked, watching. Ion lifted his camera and began recording. "All right," he whispered, though he hadn't meant to. "This is the ramen house. Locals say no one who stayed here longer than a night ever left the same." His voice sounded wrong in his ears, muffled, as if spoken underwater. He took one step forward. The floorboard beneath him sighed. Not creaked. Sighed. Ion froze. The sound wasn't wood straining under weight. It was soft, almost relieved. Like the house was happy he'd arrived. The living room smelled faintly of iron and damp earth. Furniture sat neatly arranged, untouched by dust, as if someone had just stepped away moments ago. A teacup rested on a table, liquid inside long evaporated, leaving a dark ring at the bottom like a staring pupil. Ion circled slowly, filming everything. Then he noticed the photographs. They lined the far wall, dozens of framed portraits, each one featuring a different person standing somewhere inside the house. Some smiled, some didn't. All of them were staring directly at the camera. His camera. Ion moved closer, heart pounding. The faces were unfamiliar, but something about them felt wrong. Their eyes were too sharp, too alert, like animals caught mid-hunt. And behind each person, barely visible, was a shadow that didn't match their shape. One photograph made his stomach drop. It was empty. Just the hallway he'd entered through, captured from an angle that suggested the photographer had been standing exactly where he was now. Ion turned around sharply. The hallway behind him was empty. But longer. Much longer. He swallowed and backed away from the photos, laughing nervously. "Okay, nice trick." His laughter didn't echo. The house remained silent. Too silent. Then the door at the end of the hallway blinked. Not opened. Blinked. For a split second, the doorway closed and reopened like an eyelid. Ion's breath caught in his throat. "Just imagination," he muttered. The house disagreed.